Alright, MrSotko here, and welcome back to another Warcraft 3 replay cast, and today it is a 1 vs 1 on Echo Isles between our light blue human player, LookAround, and our red Night Elf player, Remind. And again, we're just going to speed this up to about the 2-minute mark when all the heroes come out and all the action begins. Echo Isles, a pretty small map, very easy to make it to your opponent's base in a very short amount of time. So we'll see how that works out for our players today, and we'll see what hero choices our players make. First out is a Warden for Remind. Already going down there with the Ancient of War and creeping out the Renegade Wizard camp. And Archmage for our human player, creeping out the Gnoll Brute camp. We'll see what items drop from these camps and how they will affect the game for these heroes and players. Tome of Agility for the Archmage, not a very useful item, but why not? Might as well pick it up. Ancient of War taking some pretty big damage there, but can easily just turn around and start mashing some trees into its mouth and gaining some health. Renegade Wizard is almost dead here. Just a small sliver of health left. And we'll see what item drops. Boots of Speed, very useful item for the Warden. Now the Archmage coming down to the bottom here to the Renegade Wizard camp of his own. And we'll see what item drops for him. Perhaps a Boots of Speed for him as well would be very nice to keep speed against that Warden. The Warden with the Boots of Speed alone would be very deadly for this Archmage. Could just catch up over and over. Talisman of Evasion for our Archmage. Probably a Talisman of Selling for the Archmage. Not a very useful item. And I didn't see what dropped there for our Warden player from the Gnoll camp. It was simply just a tome. It was definitely not a tome of experience. Otherwise would have a lot more experience than she has now. Finishing off that camp. Level 2.5 for our Archmage. I'll put down a Tree of Life and a Moonwell down at the bottom. Ready to expand at the bottom here. Warden also 2.5. Now coming down to the Ogre Magic camp. Both players going to the Magic camp here. 2 Shadow Priests for our human player. Lots of healing incoming for our human units here with 2 Shadow Priests. Water Elemental taking all of the damage as usual. Ogre Magi just about to fall. Claws of Attack +6, very useful item for the Warden. See what drops from the Ogre Magi here. Circle of Nobility, a pretty useful item, particularly early in the game. +2 to all stats, always a good thing. Now Warden coming on over to the shop here. See what she's going to pick up. Picks up a Staff of Teleportation, now running off to the right side here. Going to run right into the human player. Going to notice everything he has. Going to see these Shadow Priests and get scouting off on everything that's going on here. Uses a Fan of Knives on these peasants here and took out quite a bit of them. So instead of Shadow Strike, went ahead and got Fan of Knives, and very good against peasants and things like that. Very low health units just dive right into the mineral line there and take it all out. Or rather a gold line. I guess I'm a little bit used to StarCraft, but same thing, right? Minerals, gold, sure, why not? And Warden sneaking around again, trying to get some more kills here. And got the Footman there, so some free experience for that Warden. Now level 3, so very deadly. Has level 2 Fan of Knives. But the Archmage also level 3, just barely. And now teleporting back to base. Gonna heal up and gain some mana. A Shadow Priest is just wandering out on the map here. And this is a very good opportunity for our Archmage. Could just go over to that Shadow Priest and get a free kill. But decided to go after the Berserker instead, which I don't really agree with. Could have easily gotten that Shadow Priest. That Shadow Priest only has 240 health, one of the lowest health units in the game. Particularly in terms of mercenaries. So you can see 245 health at least on archers. And here comes the Warden again, going to try and get off another Fan of Knives. Needs to be in the center of all of this, though, to get all that maximum damage out. And definitely going to use that there. Takes out the Shadow Priest immediately. As you can see, taking out that Shadow Priest is a very good idea. And I'm not sure why LookAround did not take that Shadow Priest out. Could have been very easily done for him. Town Hall is being constructed. Speed constructed with 5 peasants there. Now coming over to the Night Elf base for the human player here, and I'm going to try and get some harassment in, may be able to take out that Entangled Gold Mine, more likely canceled before he even destroys it. Although it doesn't cost anything to make an Entangled Gold Mine, so why cancel it anyway, right? Units trying to run away from the Warden here. Good body block with that Footman.
A player's forces are under attack.
Trying to slow the Warden down before he gets to that Troll Berserker. She gets to that Troll Berserker, rather. Archmage battling out with some troops here. And going to try and take out that Troll Berserker, but I doubt it's going to happen. Too many Moonwells in the area. Can just easily heal right back up. And Warden still in chase of that Berserker. Now level 4 Warden. Warden leveling up very quickly here. And our Archmage just still at level 3. Hasn't really killed anything. And not gaining an experience here. And just sort of wasting time with this Entangled Goldmine. Although delaying the expansion for our Night Elf player, it doesn't cost him anything. See, look, he just immediately builds it again, just out of defiance, because it doesn't really matter. Arcane Tower blasting away on the Warden here, took away all the mana. Could have possibly had no mana to begin with, and got a fan of Knives Off, killed a couple here, and teleported back to his expansion down here, and now chasing the Archmage again with Shadow Strike. Decided to pick up Shadow Strike as well, slowing him down, and now needs to teleport back to base and heal up. And now picked up that Ancient of War, needs to reroute that. Warden moving off to the center here, going to the tavern, probably picking up a second hero, the Panda. That is a pretty usual second hero. A Mud Golem out for our human player, which is very interesting. The Mud Golem is a little strange pick for a player like this. But it's a very useful mercenary, slows units down, but only has 240 health. Again, just like the Shadow Priest, very low on health. And now the Archmage at the Arcane Vault here. Probably going to pick up some Scrolls of Healing. Scrolls of Regeneration, rather. There is a difference. And Ogre Mauler now at the Goblin Merchant Camp here. Panda creeping out without the Warden around. Oh, no, here comes the Warden now. And gets a Shadow Strike off. And a Fan of Knives on that Archmage. Very low health now. Now bringing back the creeps a little bit away from the human player. And needs to take out that Ogre Mauler there. Could drop a useful item for the Panda. And Troll Berserker taking it upon himself to hold off this whole army here. Very good guy. And Dryad slowing down some units here. And trying to slow down some units with that Mud Golem. But unfortunately the Dryad could probably just disenchant that. Now the Archmage back at base here. Uses that Scroll of Regeneration. Uses Alacrity there. And now healing up his mana. Clarity Potion. Where did I get Alacrity from? Clarity Potion. And now the Ogre Mauler in front of the base here. In front of the shop here. And now Sentry Ward's not too bad of a drop. Just you just go ahead and use them. And not really worth selling. I'd say they're better just used to just throw down, and so you can see your opponent at all times in a specific area. Put one here and put one over here, so you can see him every time he crosses the center. And now moving out towards the right side here at the human base. Warden getting a little bit of scouting experience in. But running back the other way, doesn't see too much. And now moving up this way, there is a farm just chilling out in the open here. As a scout early on in the game, you can throw a farm in different places in the map. And they're very difficult to take care of early in the game, especially with only just a few units and a hero. It would take you forever to destroy a farm, and then by the time you destroy the farm, your army is already there for the most part, except there is quite a bit here this time around because it is later on in the game. Now the marketplace being creeped out by the Panda Brewmaster. See what drops here. The Ogre Magi needs to be taken care of quickly, or anything that gets bloodlusted, as it has much faster attack speed. Now going after the Footman there, almost got it. Almost got the Water Elemental as well. Could just finish off that Water Elemental himself, so he doesn't give that experience to his opponent. And it gets dispelled by Dryads there. Mountain King Stormbolts that Brewmaster, and down to very low health with stun. And the Mountain King at very low health as well. Uses a potion there, and now needs to get out of there as soon as possible. Hits that Brewmaster, and a Brewmaster for a Mountain King, an eye for an eye. However, that Brewmaster was level 2, so a slightly better result for the human player there, as losing a level 1 human, or using a level 1 hero, is not as bad as losing a level 2 hero, although both of them really not bad in themselves, as only level 2 and 1. However, that Mountain King will come out very quickly at level 1. And the Brewmaster coming out very quickly too, but just not as quick as a level 1 hero. Took a manual of health there. And looks like you got a Wand of Mana Stealing from that Ogre Magi. A very useful item. I like to use the Wand of Mana Stealing. See a lot of pro players actually just sell it, but I disagree with that. As the Wand of Mana Stealing is pretty good, especially if you use it against a hero like this that needs a lot of mana all the time. Uses them, takes the mana away for one thing, and then gives you the mana. So, pretty good deal if you ask me. Now moving out with the Mountain King and the Archmage here, and needs to get some creeping in. Needs to get this level 1 Mountain King at least level 3, and that's when the Stormbolt starts to get pretty good. One of the best skills at level 1 is actually the Frost Nova from the Lich King. It actually does one of the most damage for a level 1 skill in the game. I think it does 125, whereas Stormbolt only does 100. So it does do quite a bit of damage in the beginning of the game. But once you get a level 3 Stormbolt, it does incredible damage. Ring of Protection +2 on that Mountain King. Not too bad on the Mountain King, but it is usually just a Ring of Selling. And I would not be surprised to not see this ring on him later, as he will probably sell it. Ring of Protection +2 dropped from this camp up here. Could pick that up later on, but not a very priority drop there. As typically, I like to call it the Ring of Selling, because most players just sell them off, as +2 armor is not that great. Only translates to a little bit of health in reality. Sea Turtle under assault here, and we'll see what drops for the human player. See if it's something pretty good for our Mountain King. Gets level 3 on the Mountain King, a Claws of Attack +9. Should put that on his Archmage, as it's typically better used on the Archmage. The Archmage typically gets a lot more hits off during the battle, just because he's long range, and he doesn't have to run around units and take that time to run around and then get up to a unit. Rather, he can just continuously throw fireballs over and over, so it's really good to stack damage on your Archmage, which is sort of surprising, because you think you'd want to stack it on like a hero that is melee or something like that, a tough hero, but you really want to put it on the Archmage, as he's ranged and can just use it over and over and over, and that really starts to stack up. Now the Archmage bringing out some water elementals, but unfortunately just instantly getting dispelled by those Dryads there, so they're not very useful right now. So I think he should maybe just go Blizzard and then just try and hit these heroes and bears and stuff that are on the map. Might be a little bit better off, although now we have some fairy dragons out on the field, so if he used Blizzard, he would just get zapped over and over. Should he be nearby. All these units very, very low on health. Needs a Scroll of Regeneration on all these units, including some of these peasants here. Could just dive in with the Warden and use a Fan of Knives on all these units here. Would get easily 3 or 4 kills on some of these units here. Now a Scroll of Regeneration goes off on the bulk of all these units here, and now all healing up. A very good idea indeed. Mountain King up front here, a little bit too up front, getting hit by all the Dryads and the bear, and now needs to back off slowly here at 100 health. Very low. Loses a Spellbreaker there. Not losing too much on the side of the Night Elf here. There's really nothing that really does a lot of damage to them. Bear is now trying to back out of there. And pretty low on health here, about 120 health on that bear there. And may lose this bear, but that's not going to be too much of a loss. And hits the Panda Brewmaster there. May take out the Panda Brewmaster, loses that Brewmaster. Level 3 Brewmaster dead. Lots of experience to the Archmage and to the Mountain King for the fall of a hero. And trying to get back now, but going to lose some Spellbreakers for sure to these massive bears here. Doing so much damage, so much health, so much armor. And loses another Spellbreaker there. And the Fairy Dragons appearing right here. And going to do big damage to all these priests and sorceresses that are continuously casting, just zapping them over and over. Punishing them for casting. And the Mountain King in the center here, very low on health. I don't actually see the Warden, where the Warden is. Oh, the Warden is right here. Very low on health. Actually got Storm Bolted by the Mountain King there. He's sort of hidden in all the mess of the units here. And now needs a Scroll of Regeneration and possibly some Clarity Potions. Once again, heal up all this and move out. Gather himself. Now needs to heal up and move out again. There goes the Scroll of Regeneration. Night Elf player needs to heal up as well. All the units extremely low, but going to juice all of the Moonwells here. And the Moonwells back at base are also completely cleared as well. So just 2 Moonwells remaining down here. Might actually save those for his hero, since he can use Rejuvenation from those bears on most of those units. But he's going to have to save some of that for his heroes. Looks like the Panda Brewmaster is still not out on the field yet. So the Warden is all by herself, but she is level 6 now, so can use that Avatar and do huge damage with that Avatar. Avatar is easily one of the best level 6 skills in the game. It's just so good. You pop it out, and it just causes invincible little avatars all over the place, and you can't kill them, so you can just basically take out all kinds of units with them and just run off with your big avatar, and even the big avatar is very hard to take down. So it is a very good unit. Now, our Ancient of War moving out, trying to take out some of these units here, stall the humans a little bit. Guess he doesn't need this anymore. Just going to do some damage to these troops here, but it will give the army a little bit of experience here. You can see a little chunk of experience to the Mountain King and to the Archmage there. Mountain King almost level 4. Archmage about halfway to level 5. And the Avatar of Vengeance is moving out. Panda Brewmaster almost level 4, and our Warden, again, almost level 7, actually. So the Warden is just incredible in terms of levels. And the loss of that Panda Brewmaster twice has just given the Warden a ton of experience here. So the human players definitely got to watch out for this. And here comes the Avatar now. And there used to be some bodies, but they are all gone now. It would have been better to come a little bit earlier with that Vengeance. Could have used all those bodies that were around from the previous fight, but now has to wait a little bit, and almost about halfway to despawning, so not good for that Vengeance there to come in so late. Now the Archmage a little bit low on health here. Mountain King about full health. Panda now losing a little bit of health as well. Mountain King was going for it, but LookAround GG's out, leaving our Red Night Elf player Remind the winner. Hope you guys enjoyed this replay, and I will see you guys next time.